Yo, what's good? NBA, YouTube. It's your man 100 Grand, Ross with The Rock Never Stops. And tonight we got to talk about these Utah Jazz. I think it's easy for everybody to get caught up into the hoorah, the chaos that ESPN loves to spin when it comes to NBA franchises, franchise players, and just NBA news in general. One of the things that they love to do is they love to catastrophize. They love to make you believe that the end is here, that it is only doom and dread, and that your only saving grace, your only savior, is what they're offering you to do something drastic, to do something that causes even more chaos and even more of a reaction. And this is how they get more views and they get more attention, and this is how they try to drum up, the market. I'm here to try to give you a different perspective. Many times, what we are bound to is not necessarily merely the rhetoric, the critics, the television news stations that tell us which way to go, but we're also bound by our imagination. Our imagination. And I want to talk about this because for the Utah Jazz, for Jazz fans everywhere, for the front office, it is important that you use just that, your imagination. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because you have to understand there are teams like the Charlotte Hornets, Sacramento Kings. There are teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers, even. There are teams that I can't even think of to even try to remember in this moment. They're that irrelevant. There are teams that have been desperate for an opportunity to be in your shoes. In your shoes. Ask how many of these fans of these teams like Charlotte, right? Like let me see here, Detroit Pistons, like a Houston Rockets, Indiana Pacers, like a Los Angeles Lakers even, like a Minnesota who just got in, a New York Knicks, Oklahoma City, Orlando Magic. I can go on and on and on and on of teams who ain't winning, who ain't even getting to the playoffs, who aren't even sniffing the playoffs, haven't been a number one seed in the last 15 plus years, 20 years. They haven't had a defensive player of the year. They haven't had a superstar level talent who can go toe to toe against anyone, let alone a combination of the two. Now, the Lakers somewhat have, but it was for just a moment in time with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And they won a championship. And they haven't been able to recapture that magic since. Why? Because those two guys can't stay healthy anymore. And yet you have a healthy defensive player of the year. You have a healthy superstar level talent. And you just have a whole bunch of pieces around that you haven't quite been able to figure out the puzzle to. But here's the thing. If you get caught up in the chaos that ESPN is trying to spin, and the rest of these pundits and critics, you're going to end up in the same tailspin that they can't wait for you to end up in. Floundering within the chaos of finding a new coach, finding a new cornerstone, a new defensive anchor, a new superstar scorer. And the very things that you have right now, you'll be searching for all over again. And they'll be laughing at it. They'll be critiquing it. They'll be making news headlines about it. The reality is that you probably just need to sit tight. You probably need to look into free agency, look at finding the right pieces who fit better, maybe some more two-way players who don't only play offense or only play defense. Maybe you need to get some more playmaking. You see, here's the thing. You're only limited by your imagination. How many teams out there can't afford to re-sign certain guys? Memphis Grizzlies with Tyus Jones, right? How many teams out there potentially can't afford to go deeper into the luxury tax? How many teams out there have valuable pieces that you can add, that you can do a trade for? Somebody like a Mike Conley or Bogdan Bogdanovic or Bojan Bogdanovic, right? These are guys with contracts that you can move, that you can find pieces here and there. Can you get a Jayshawn Tate from Houston, right? Can you get some guys who offer more toughness and versatility, like a Harrison Barnes or Trey Lyles, right? Can you go out there and make the necessary adjustments? But here's the thing. You can't do it if you blow it up. And if you blow it up, you're going to spend the next 5 to 10 years trying to get back to where you are today. You see, so many of those teams would love to be in your position of having to tinker, of having to figure out how to make the small adjustments along the way. And that's where you're at. Look, the best part about it is you failed as big as you can fail, the same way 3 years in a row. You get exposed with small ball. You can't stop multiple playmakers because you don't have good perimeter defenders. Because you failed so glaringly, you actually now have a glaringly clear path and a glaringly clear focus. Get better with your defensive versatility to guard the perimeter. Add more playmakers so your offense isn't so Donovan Mitchell centric. And get you some more size. Not inside, but throughout the rest of the roster. The small guards isn't working. All that is to say is use your imagination. Take a moment. Step back. Look at what you have. Look at the pieces. And make the adjustments. Make the adjustments. The same adjustments that a team like the Toronto Raptors have made in reimagining themselves and who they want it to be. The same way that many teams have to reflect on the assets that they have and who they want to bring in order to make the changes that they see fit. Because you don't want to spend the next 5 to 10 years trying to get back to right where you are today. Just a little something to think about. I want to know what the rest of you guys think, whether you guys believe that it's time to blow it up, or what moves do you feel like the Utah Jazz can make in order to maintain their core and have a better outcome next season. Use your imagination and let me know. If you like this video, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And you can holler at me on Twitter at RockNeverStops2. That's the number 2. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.